This message is not for everyone. It is not for the men who chose the easy path, the ones who walked away when the road got rough. This is not for the faint of heart, or for those whose commitment was conditional. This one is for the men who stayed. It is for the fathers who stood their ground when the world tried to knock them down, when the whispers of doubt grew loud and when the pain became a constant companion. This is a tribute to the warriors who chose to remain, even when every fiber of their being screamed for them to leave. This is for the man who looks in the mirror and sees the scars of battles fought in silence, the sleepless nights etched into his face, and the quiet resolve that keeps him going day after day. You are the unspoken heroes, the silent anchors in a storm you did not create. This is a letter to the single father, the man who pulls double duty with half the support. It's for the grieving dad, the one whose heart carries a weight that others cannot comprehend, a sorrow that never fully fades. This is for the broken father, the one piecing himself back together while trying to hold his child's world intact. It is for the worried dad, the one whose mind races with concerns for a future he cannot control, for a child he loves more than life itself. This is for the man whose phone calls go unanswered, whose heartfelt messages are left unread, and whose child feels like a distant memory, a stranger living under a different roof. It is for the soul that still aches with a profound sense of loss, a longing for a connection that feels just out of reach, a love that feels unreturned. And yet, despite the crushing weight of it all, you are still here. You did not break. You did not shatter. You did not surrender to the darkness that threatened to consume you. When the courtroom doors closed, leaving you with a fraction of the time you deserved, you stayed. When the silence in your home became deafening, a constant reminder of what was lost, you stayed. When Father's Day felt more like a punishment than a celebration, a painful spotlight on your absence, you stayed. You chose the harder path, the one of unwavering love and unyielding presence, because you understood that your role was not defined by circumstances, but by character. You are a testament to the enduring power of a father's heart, a fire that refuses to be extinguished by the storms of life. The world may not see your sacrifice, it may not acknowledge your tears or applaud your quiet strength. There are no trophies for the father who folds laundry at 2 a.m, bone-tired but unwilling to let his child wake up to chaos. There are no medals for the dad who drives hours just for a few precious moments, a brief hug, a fleeting smile. But your value is not measured by the world's applause. It is measured in the silent moments of unwavering commitment, in the prayers whispered in the dark, in the promise you made to your child, and more importantly to yourself. You are the foundation, the steady rock. And even when you feel invisible, even when you feel forgotten, you must know this one truth: you are still standing. There is a powerful saying that resonates deep within the soul of every man facing adversity. If you want to find your true purpose, you must be willing to look in the places you least want to look. For many of you, that place is the mirror. It is in that reflection where the most difficult battles are waged, far from the eyes of the world. It is a war fought in the silent corridors of your own mind, a struggle that leaves no visible wounds but can cripple the strongest of men. In that reflection, you see a warrior fighting battles that no one else can comprehend, an invisible conflict that demands every ounce of your strength, courage, and resilience. This is the unspoken war of the committed father, a fight for your sanity, your hope, and your very identity. In this internal war, you confront the ghosts of what could have been. You grapple with the deafening absence of affirmation, the simple words of encouragement and appreciation that every man needs to hear but so few receive. You wrestle with the sharp, stabbing pain of being forgotten, of feeling like an afterthought on birthdays, holidays, and special occasions that should be filled with shared joy. You endure the crushing silence that follows your greatest efforts, the carefully planned visit that gets canceled, the thoughtful gift that goes unacknowledged, the heartfelt letter that receives no reply. This is a unique kind of pain, a slow erosion of the spirit that can leave you feeling empty, depleted, and questioning if any of it even matters. It is a war of attrition, designed to wear you down until you have nothing left to give. But deep within you, there is a force that refuses to surrender. As one of the most powerful motivational voices of our time declared, "You have greatness within you." This greatness is not what the world portrays it to be. It is not found in fame, fortune, or public recognition. It is not glamorous or flashy. Sometimes greatness is the father who gets up every single morning, puts on a brave face, and goes to a job he dislikes to provide for a child he rarely sees. Greatness is showing up to a school play or a soccer game, standing in the back, feeling like an outsider just to catch a glimpse of your child's face, to let them know, even from a distance, that their dad was there. Greatness is the silent prayer you offer in your car before you go inside, asking for strength to face another day. It is the quiet moment in the dead of night, when the house is still and the world is asleep, that your true character is forged. It is in these moments, when you are alone with your thoughts, that you wipe away tears no one will ever witness, tears of frustration, of sorrow, of relentless love. This is the raw, unpolished, and undeniable greatness of a father who refuses to quit. Your past does not have the final say. It may explain the origin of your wounds, the depth of your scars, and the reasons for your pain, but it does not have the authority to write your ending. Your story is still being written, and every day you choose to stand, you are adding another chapter of courage, resilience, and unwavering love. The journey of fatherhood, especially for those navigating the treacherous waters of separation, loss, or alienation, is often defined by a relentless fight. It is a fight against perception, a fight against circumstance, and a fight against the internal voice that tempts you to give up. You are a fighter. You may not be in a ring, and there may not be a crowd cheering your name, but you are in the fight of your life. The world sees the outcome of court battles, the logistics of visitation schedules, and the financial transactions. What it fails to see is the heart of the man in the arena, the father whose spirit is bruised and bloodied, yet who continues to rise round after round, refusing to stay down for the count. This fight is not for a title or a prize, it is for the heart of your child. Your past does not define you. Let that sink in. Let it penetrate the walls of doubt and regret that you may have built around your heart, your mistakes, your shortcomings, your moments of weakness. They are part of your story, but they are not the entire book. They may explain why you carry certain burdens, why some relationships are strained, or why you have to fight harder than others, but your past is a teacher, not a jailer. It does not have the power to dictate your future unless you grant it that authority. The man you were yesterday does not have to be the man you are today. Every sunrise offers a new opportunity to make a different choice, to love harder, to forgive more freely, and to stand taller than you did the day before. The fire that burns within you, that unyielding fire of fatherhood, is your greatest weapon in this fight. It is the fuel that keeps you going when your energy is depleted and your hope is running low. This fire is not ignited by external validation, but by an internal, primal conviction, the deep, unshakable knowledge that your child needs you. It is the fire that dries your tears and transforms them into resolve. It is the fire that compels you to send another text, make another call, or write another letter, even when the silence on the other end is deafening. This fire is your legacy in the making. It is the silent, powerful force that whispers, "Get up, fight one more round, your child is worth it." And so, you stand. You stand in the face of rejection. You stand against the tide of bitterness. You stand firm on the foundation of your love, a love that is not dependent on reciprocity. You are still standing, not because the fight is easy, but because the reason for the fight is everything. You are still fighting, not because you are guaranteed to win every battle, but because your child's future is a cause worth fighting for. Let the world throw its punches. Let the circumstances stack against you. They may knock you down, but they cannot keep you down. Because a father's fire, once ignited, never truly dies. It only burns brighter in the darkness. There's a unique silence that every father in this battle knows intimately. It's not the peaceful quiet of a sleeping home, it's the hollow echo in a room that was once filled with laughter. It is the sound of absence. This is where the invisible battle truly begins, in the deafening quiet that follows a slammed door, a disconnected call, or the finality of a car pulling away from the curb. It is a silence that amplifies every doubt, every fear, and every regret. In this space, you are left alone to confront the ghosts of your own expectations, the specter of a future you had planned that now feels like a distant, impossible dream. The world moves on, but for you, time can feel frozen in that moment of loss, replaying the silence over and over again. This battle is fought against an enemy you cannot see or touch, the pervasive sense of being erased. It's the feeling that creeps in when you see pictures from a family event you weren't invited to, or when you hear secondhand about a milestone in your child's life. It is the slow, painful realization that new memories are being made without you, that your role in the narrative of your child's life is being minimized, rewritten, or removed altogether. This is not a physical wound that can be bandaged and healed. It is a deep spiritual injury, an assault on your very identity as a father. It's the fight to hold on to your place in their heart when the world seems determined to push you out of the picture. This is the war fought in the middle of the night, when the rest of the world is asleep, and your mind is a battlefield. It's the 3 a.m. wrestling match with anxiety, the endless loop of what-ifs and if-onlys. What if I had said something different? If only I had been stronger, wiser, or more patient? These are the phantom punches that leave you breathless, the invisible wounds that ache more than any physical blow. No one sees you pacing the floor, staring at the ceiling, or scrolling through old photos on your phone, trying to hold onto a connection that feels like it's slipping through your fingers. This solitary struggle is the crucible where your resolve is tested in the most profound and painful ways imaginable. And yet, in the midst of this echoing silence and profound isolation, a quiet strength begins to form. It is the strength that comes from surviving another night, from choosing to get out of bed when every instinct tells you to pull the covers over your head and surrender. It is the resilience born from facing your deepest fears alone in the dark and realizing that they did not destroy you. This is not the loud, boastful strength of a conqueror, but the quiet, enduring fortitude of a survivor. You learn that your worth as a father is not defined by your presence at every event, but by the love that persists even in your absence, a love that echoes louder than any silence. In a world obsessed with wealth and status, you trade in a different currency: character. When money is tight and circumstances are tough, your integrity, compassion, and presence become your child's true inheritance. You can't always control the story or the outcome, but your consistent love is a safe harbor in their storm. True fatherhood isn't about perfection, it's about showing up, learning from mistakes, and being real. Every day you choose to love, to forgive, and to keep going, you build a legacy no one can take away. Your character is the wealth your child will remember. Each day you wear invisible armor, resilience, patience, hope, crafted by hardship. The world doesn't see the effort it takes to keep going, to face reminders of loss and longing. This armor protects, but it can also isolate, making it hard to let others in. True strength is admitting when the weight is heavy and allowing yourself to rest. You endure not for recognition, but for your child, standing guard with unwavering love. Your silent strength is their shield. Solitude can break you or build you. In quiet moments you confront your pain and transform it into strength. Use this time to grow, to heal, to become the father your child needs. Your private battles forge resilience, patience, and peace, gifts you pass on. You are not just surviving, you are becoming the man your child will look up to. In solitude, you forge the steel of fatherhood. Leadership isn't control, it's influence. You may not steer your child's ship, but you can be their lighthouse, steady, reliable, and bright. Your consistent presence is a beacon of hope, even when unacknowledged. Small acts, calls, visits, listening, build their sense of worth and security. Let go of what you can't control. Focus on shining your light. Be the lighthouse. Your love guides them home. The most valuable gift you give is your presence. Showing up, again and again, speaks louder than words or money. Whether it's a game, a call, or silent support, these moments build trust and connection. Even when pushed away, your steady presence proves your love is unconditional. Over time, these small acts become the foundation of your relationship. Your legacy is simple: he always showed up. There's a crippling myth that has been sold to fathers everywhere. The myth of the perfect dad. This mythical figure never loses his temper, always knows the right thing to say, has boundless energy, and effortlessly balances work, life, and parenting. The pursuit of this impossible ideal is a surefire path to burnout, guilt, and a feeling of perpetual failure. It is time to burn that myth to the ground. True fatherhood, the kind that shapes lives and builds legacies, is not about being perfect. It is about being present. It is about being an authentic, flawed, and engaged human being who is committed to the journey, messes and all. Your children do not need a superhero, they need a father. Being present means showing up with all of your imperfections. It means letting your child see that you have bad days, that you get frustrated, and that you don't have all the answers. When you make a mistake, when you raise your voice, when you are unfair, when you break a promise, the power is not in pretending it didn't happen. The power is in returning to your child, looking them in the eye and saying, "I am sorry, I was wrong, please forgive me." This is one of the most profound lessons you can ever teach them. It demonstrates humility, accountability, and the courage to repair a relationship. It gives them permission to be imperfect too, and shows them how to navigate their own failures with grace. Think of your presence as a gift, not a performance. When you are with your child, the goal is not to entertain them or to orchestrate a perfect experience. The goal is simply to be with them. This means putting down your phone, turning off the television, and giving them the undivided attention of your eyes and your ears. It means listening to their long, rambling stories about video games or schoolyard drama with genuine interest. It means being fully there in the moment, whether you are throwing a ball in the yard, helping with homework, or just sitting together on the couch. This focused presence communicates value more effectively than any elaborate outing or expensive toy ever could. A wise mentor once said, "Faith isn't denying reality, it's defying it." Let this be your mantra. You defy the reality that you must be perfect to be a good dad. You defy the reality that your past mistakes disqualify you from being present today. You defy the voices of shame and inadequacy by choosing again and again to engage, to connect, and to love. Being present is an act of faith. Faith in your child, faith in yourself, and faith in the redemptive power of a love that is real, not flawless. Forget perfection, embrace presence. It is more than enough. It is everything. Your presence is the unseen foundation upon which your child will build their life. Just like the concrete and steel rebar buried deep beneath a skyscraper, your steady influence is often hidden from view, yet it is what provides the strength and stability for everything that is built on top. The world will see the visible structure, your child's achievements, their relationships, their successes. But you, and in time they, will know that the entire edifice stands tall and secure because of the foundational work you did in the quiet, unseen moments of their youth. This is a thankless, invisible job, but it is the most critical construction project you will ever undertake. Every act of presence, no matter how small, contributes to this foundation. Every bedtime story read, every tear wiped away, every promise kept, every boundary held with love, these are the materials you are using. When you choose patience over anger, you are pouring concrete. When you choose to listen instead of lecture, you are laying rebar. This foundation determines so much about their future. It informs their sense of security in the world, their ability to form healthy attachments, their understanding of commitment, and their own internal voice of self-worth. You are not just raising a child, you are building the platform from which they will launch into their own life. This foundational work is often done in defiance of your own pain. It is the father who is grieving his own losses, but still finds the strength to celebrate his child's joys. It is the man battling loneliness who ensures his child never feels alone when they are with him. This is a heroic act of emotional alchemy, turning your own suffering into a source of strength for someone else. You absorb the shocks of life so that they don't have to. You stand firm in the earthquake of divorce or discord so that the ground beneath their feet feels solid. They may never know the weight you carried to give them a stable footing, and that is the true nature of this sacrifice. So when you feel that your efforts are going unnoticed, remember the unseen foundation. Your impact is not measured by daily gratitude or immediate results. It is measured in the resilience your child shows a decade from now, in the healthy way they handle a conflict, in the love they are able to give their own family someday. You are building something that will outlast you. You are creating a legacy of stability that will ripple through generations. Do not grow weary in this vital work. The world may not see it, but the structure of your child's soul depends on it. Be present, be steady, be the foundation. There comes a point in this journey where the reality of a father's love becomes excruciatingly clear. It often hurts. This is not the poetic, romanticized pain of literature. It is a raw, visceral ache that settles deep in your bones. It is the agony of unanswered love. It is pouring your entire soul into a text message, crafting each word with care and vulnerability, only to be met with the cold, digital finality of a read receipt and nothing more. It is the pain of choosing a thoughtful birthday gift, one that speaks to a memory or a shared passion, only to learn later that it was never opened or was casually cast aside. This kind of love feels like a one-way street, a constant outpouring of energy with no return, leaving you feeling emotionally bankrupt and deeply alone in your affection. This pain is compounded by the gnawing question that haunts your quietest moments. Am I doing enough? You replay every interaction, scrutinize every decision, and second-guess every word, wondering if a different approach might have yielded a different result. This internal cross-examination is a form of self-inflicted torture, a relentless cycle of doubt that erodes your confidence. The world may see a man who is distant or disconnected, but it does not see the internal turmoil, the desperate desire to bridge a chasm that feels impossibly wide. The silence from your child can become a mirror, reflecting back all your perceived failures and inadequacies, making the hurt of their absence even more acute and personal. It's a heavy, suffocating blanket of perceived failure. The great paradox is that the depth of your pain is a direct measure of the depth of your love. If you did not care so profoundly, the silence would not be so deafening, and the distance would not feel so vast. It is because your heart is so deeply invested that the lack of reciprocation feels like a physical wound. You are grieving not just the loss of a daily presence, but the loss of a shared emotional connection that you yearn for more than anything. This is the sacred sorrow of a devoted father, to love so completely that you open yourself up to the possibility of immense hurt, and to continue loving even after that hurt becomes your reality. It is a testament to a love that is truly unconditional. So, what do you do when your love is met with a wall of silence? You love anyway. You send the text, knowing it may go unanswered. You mail the card, knowing it may not be appreciated. You keep the door to your heart wide open, even if no one seems to be walking through it. This is not an act of foolishness, it is an act of profound faith. It is the defiant belief that love is never wasted, that every deposit of affection, no matter how small or unacknowledged, matters. It is a declaration that your role as a father is not defined by your child's response, but by your own unwavering commitment to love without condition. In the arena of fatherhood, especially when marked by separation or alienation, you become what is known as a wounded healer. Your own heart is fractured, your spirit bruised, yet you are called to be a source of healing and stability for your child. This is one of the most difficult and sacred roles a man can assume. It requires you to set aside your own pain in their presence, to create a space of emotional safety for them even when you feel unsafe in your own life. It is the father who is battling his own demons of depression but musters a genuine smile and a listening ear for his child's anxieties. It is a profound act of grace to offer comfort from a place of personal discomfort. The world often misunderstands this role. It may see your quiet demeanor as weakness, or your patience as passivity. It fails to recognize the monumental strength it takes to absorb emotional blows without retaliating, to offer forgiveness when you have not received an apology, and to maintain a posture of love in the face of hostility or indifference. This is the quiet heroism of the wounded healer. You learn to compartmentalize your grief, to process your anger in solitude, so that the time you spend with your child is untainted by your own turmoil. You become a master of emotional triage, tending to their needs first, knowing that you must attend to your own wounds later, in the quiet of your own company. This journey transforms you. The wounds you carry, while painful, can become a source of profound empathy. Because you know the sting of rejection, you become more sensitive to the feelings of others. Because you have navigated the depths of your own sorrow, you can sit with your child in their sadness without needing to fix it. Your pain carves out a greater capacity for compassion within you, turning your scars into a roadmap that can help guide your child through their own future struggles. You teach them, through your example, that it is possible to be both broken and beautiful, both wounded and strong, a lesson of resilience that is more valuable than any inheritance. Therefore, do not despise your wounds. See them as the credentials that qualify you for this sacred work. They are the marks of a man who has loved deeply, fought hard, and refused to let bitterness win. The grace you extend to your child even when your own heart is aching is a powerful testament to the transformative power of a father's love. You are living proof that the greatest healing we can offer the world often comes from the deepest wounds we have endured. You are not just a wounded man, you are a healer, and your child is the primary beneficiary of your incredible, hard-won grace. Consider the life of Nelson Mandela. He was unjustly imprisoned for 27 years, forcibly separated from his wife and children, and stripped of his most fundamental human rights. He had every reason to emerge from that cell filled with hatred, bitterness, and a burning desire for revenge against his captors. His pain was unimaginable, his loss profound. The world watched, holding its breath, expecting a storm of retribution. Instead, what emerged from that prison was a man who spoke not of vengeance, but of forgiveness, reconciliation, and redemption. He understood a principle that every father in this fight must grasp. Holding on to bitterness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. True power lies not in settling scores but in healing souls, starting with your own. This is the Mandela mandate for the hurting father. You may feel like a prisoner of your circumstances, trapped by court orders, distance, and emotional walls. You may feel that you have been wronged, misunderstood, and unfairly treated, and you may be right. But you are faced with the same fundamental choice that Mandela faced. Will you allow your pain to turn you into a vengeful man, or will you allow it to forge you into a redemptive one? Seeking revenge, whether through bitter words, legal battles, or emotional warfare, may offer a fleeting moment of satisfaction, but it will ultimately poison the very ground you hope to one day share with your child. It perpetuates a cycle of pain, and in that cycle, there are no winners. Choosing redemption, on the other hand, is an act of profound courage. It is the choice to forgive, not because the other person necessarily deserves it, but because you deserve peace. It is the choice to let go of your right to be angry, in order to seize your opportunity to be free. This does not mean you deny the injustice or pretend the pain doesn't exist. It means you make a conscious decision that your future will not be held hostage by your past. Redemption means focusing your energy not on what has been done to you, but on what you can still do for your child, for your own healing, and for the legacy you will leave behind. It is the difficult but liberating path toward wholeness. So, when the temptation to lash out arises, when the desire to prove you were right becomes overwhelming, pause and remember Mandela. Remember that the ultimate victory is not in winning an argument, but in winning back a relationship. The greatest strength is not shown in a clenched fist, but in an open hand. You have the power to break the cycle of hurt. You can choose redemption over revenge, reconciliation over resentment, and love over bitterness. This is your mandate. It is the path not only to healing your relationship with your child, but to liberating your own soul from the prison of the past.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle.
There is a voice that echoes in the hearts of champions, a voice that cries out, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. For many, success is measured in trophies, promotions, or bank accounts. But for you, the father in the trenches of a quiet war, the definition of success is radically different. It is stripped down to its most essential, most human form. Success for you is not about wealth or fame. It is not about proving your ex-partner wrong or winning the approval of others. Your ultimate success, the air that you gasped for, is the hope of one day hearing your child say, quietly and sincerely, "Thank you. Thanks for staying." Another powerful voice offers a critical piece of wisdom for this journey. You may not be able to control the outcome, but you can always control the standard. This is a truth you must anchor your soul to. You cannot control whether your child will call you back. You cannot control the stories they are told or the influences they are under. You cannot control the final outcome of your relationship, but you can, with absolute authority, control the standard of love and integrity to which you hold yourself. You can set a standard that is not dependent on circumstances or the reactions of others. Your standard is to love, to forgive, and to remain steadfast, regardless of the outcome. This standard demands that you operate from a higher place. It means you must choose to love even when that love is not returned, offering it freely without expectation of payment. It means you must remember them, their birthdays, their favorite foods, the small details of their lives, even when you feel forgotten by them. It is the gut-wrenching, soul-stretching commitment to stay when every survival instinct, every ounce of pride, and every logical argument tells you to walk away, to cut your losses, and to protect your own heart. This is not weakness. This is the highest form of strength. It is a love that is truly unconditional, a standard that sets you apart. This standard becomes your code, your creed, your unshakable identity. You are the father who loves without condition. You are the father who remembers. You are the father who stays. Living by this standard will not be easy. It will cost you. It will stretch you to your limits and beyond. But it will also refine you, purify your motives, and forge you into a man of incredible character. While you cannot control the outcome, you can stand before God and your own conscience and know that you gave it your all, that you never lowered your standard, and that you loved with every fiber of your being. And that, in itself, is a profound and lasting victory. There is a fundamental and often painful truth that must be accepted on this path. Love that never hurts is not love at all. The kind of love that is safe, comfortable, and without risk is a shallow imitation of the real thing. True, transformative love, the kind that a father is called to give, is inherently sacrificial. It requires you to put your heart on the line, to make it vulnerable to being bruised, broken, and misunderstood. It is in this willingness to risk the pain of rejection that the true depth and authenticity of your love are proven. If it doesn't cost you anything, your pride, your comfort, your expectations, then it is not the sacred love your child truly needs. Real fathers bleed quietly. They do not broadcast their pain for sympathy or use their wounds as weapons to manipulate others. They absorb the hurt and carry it with a quiet dignity, understanding that their sacrifice is part of their sacred duty. This is the father who bites his tongue when a false accusation is hurled at him, choosing peace for his child over the need to be right. It is the man who works a second job to pay for child support and braces, even while his own car is falling apart. He bleeds the quiet pain of loneliness, of missed milestones, and of a love that feels unreciprocated, yet he continues to give, to provide, and to love. This quiet bleeding is matched by a bold sacrifice. It is the bold choice to drive hundreds of miles for a 2-hour visit, turning around and driving all the way back in the same day. It is the bold decision to move to a new city to be closer to your child, uprooting your own life for the chance to be a more consistent presence in theirs. It is the bold act of forgiveness, of letting go of deep hurts so that a bridge can be rebuilt. These are not small, insignificant acts. They are monumental sacrifices made in the name of love, bold declarations that your child's well-being is more important than your own comfort and convenience. This is the essence of a father's heart. It is a heart that is willing to be broken for the sake of another. It is a heart that understands that true strength is found in sacrifice, and that the deepest love is expressed not in words, but in selfless action. Your journey is a testament to this truth. Every silent tear you've shed, every lonely mile you've driven, and every dollar you've sacrificed is a note in a beautiful, painful, and powerful symphony of a father's love. It is a sacred offering, and it will not be in vain. The seeds you plant with your tears and sacrifice will one day grow into a forest of legacy. You must understand that you are writing a story every single day. With every action you take, every choice you make, and every sacrifice you endure, you are writing your legacy. This is not a story written with pen and paper, but one etched onto the heart and mind of your child with the invisible ink of your influence. Right now, in the midst of the struggle, you may feel like the pages are blank, that your efforts are making no impression at all. You cannot see the words as you write them, and you may receive no confirmation that the message is being received. This requires a profound act of faith. To keep writing, to keep pouring out your love and character onto the page, trusting that one day, the message will become clear and legible. This legacy is not built in the grand, sweeping moments the world celebrates. It is forged in the small, consistent, and often monotonous details of your daily commitment. Your legacy is the alarm clock going off before dawn so you can get to work. It is the integrity you show in your job, even when your boss isn't looking. It is the quiet prayer you whisper for your child's safety and happiness before you fall asleep. These are the humble, unseen brushstrokes that are creating a masterpiece of fatherhood. Your child may not be consciously aware of these things now, but they are absorbing the essence of who you are. They are learning what it means to be a man of character, not from your lectures, but from the silent sermon of your life. Think of yourself as a stone mason, patiently carving a statue from a block of marble. Each day you show up with your hammer and chisel, and you make a few small taps. To a passerby, it looks like nothing is happening. The changes are imperceptible. But you, the mason, know that with each precise and intentional tap, you are slowly revealing the form that lies within the stone. Your consistent phone calls, your unwavering financial support, your refusal to speak ill of their other parent, these are your hammer and chisel. You are carving an image of steadfast love and honor. And while the final form is not yet visible, you are making progress every single day. Do not be discouraged by the apparent lack of progress. The most enduring legacies are not built overnight. They are the cumulative result of thousands of small, faithful acts performed over time. The ink of your influence is slowly seeping into the very fabric of your child's being. It is shaping their understanding of resilience, their definition of love, and their capacity for forgiveness. You are not just fighting for a relationship today, you are building a legacy that will inform their tomorrows. Keep writing your story with courage and consistency. One day the heat of time and experience will reveal the words you've written, and they will read as a beautiful testament to a father who never stopped loving. In the lonely echo chamber of your struggle, it is easy to feel completely and utterly invisible. You show up, you provide, you love, you sacrifice, and it can feel like your efforts vanish into a void. You may feel unseen by your child, unappreciated by your ex-partner, and misunderstood by the world around you. This feeling of invisibility is one of the heaviest burdens a man can carry, leading to a profound sense of isolation and despair. It tempts you to believe the lie that what you do doesn't matter because no one is there to witness it. But you must cling to a truth that transcends human sight and understanding. You are not invisible. You may feel forgotten by the world, but you are not forgotten by the God who created you. He sees every silent tear that falls in the darkness of your room. He hears every prayer whispered in the solitude of your car. He takes note of every act of sacrifice, every moment you choose integrity over bitterness, and every instance you extend love when you receive none in return. In the grand cosmic story, your struggle is not a footnote, it is a central theme of courage and faithfulness. There is a divine record being kept, an accounting of your character that is far more important than any recognition you could receive on this earth. Knowing you are seen by the ultimate witness can give you the strength to endure when human eyes fail to see your worth. This knowledge should not be a source of pressure, but a source of profound comfort and strength. It means that none of your efforts are in vain. Every good deed, every act of love, is an investment in an eternal economy. You are not just building a legacy on earth, you are building a treasure in heaven. This perspective can liberate you from the desperate need for human approval. When you understand that you are playing to an audience of one, the opinions and judgments of others begin to lose their power over you. You are free to act from a place of pure conviction, guided by your conscience and your faith, not by the fickle applause of the crowd. So when you feel that familiar ache of being overlooked and forgotten, lift your head. Remind yourself that the one who matters most sees you. He sees your heart. He sees your fight. He sees your unwavering love. Let this truth be the fuel for your fire, the anchor for your soul in the midst of the storm. You are not alone in this battle. You are seen, you are known, and you are valued beyond measure by the Creator of the universe. Walk in that truth, and it will give you the courage to continue your journey with dignity, purpose, and an unshakable sense of your own worth, regardless of who else is watching. The path to building a legacy is not a straight line. It is a winding road filled with potholes, detours, and moments where you will inevitably stumble and fall. One of the greatest lies the enemy will tell you is that your failures disqualify you from your mission. When you lose your temper, say the wrong thing, or miss an opportunity to connect, a voice of shame will whisper, "See, you've ruined it, it's over, you might as well give up." You must learn to recognize this voice for what it is, a lie designed to paralyze you and halt your progress. Your legacy is not defined by your perfection, but by your persistence. It is about your willingness to get back up every time you fall. Embrace the principle of failing forward. This means that every mistake, every misstep is not the end of the story, but an opportunity for growth and learning. When you fall, you don't fall backward, you fall forward, closer to your goal, because you now have the wisdom of that experience. Did you handle a conversation poorly? You have learned a valuable lesson about communication. Did you let your anger get the best of you? You have learned more about your triggers and the need for self-control. True failure is not falling down, it is staying down. True failure is allowing a mistake to convince you to quit the race altogether. You may not see the fruit of your labor today, and that can be deeply discouraging. You are planting seeds in what often feels like barren, rocky soil. You water them with your tears and your sacrifice, and you see no sign of life, no green shoots breaking through the surface. It is tempting to believe that the seeds are dead, that your efforts have been wasted, but you are a farmer of faith. You must trust that beneath the surface, in the unseen realm of your child's heart, roots are beginning to take hold. Your consistency, your love, and your resilience are nourishing those seeds, even if you cannot see the growth. The harvest may not be today, but you must continue to sow. The father who stands firm through seasons of drought will one day be remembered as the father who changed everything. His persistence will be the story that is told for generations. His refusal to give up in the face of failure will become the stuff of family legend, the example his children and grandchildren will look to when they face their own trials. So, give yourself grace. Forgive yourself for your imperfections. When you stumble, get back up, dust yourself off, and take the next step forward. Your legacy is not one of flawless victory, but of relentless, imperfect, and beautiful forward motion. Fail forward, Dad. Your future self and your child will thank you for it. There is a powerful mandate for every person who wants to live a life of meaning. Live full, die empty. This means, that you're called to experience life to its fullest, to learn, to grow, and to become the best version of yourself possible. But it also carries a profound responsibility. You must not take your wisdom, your lessons, and your love to the grave with you. You have a sacred duty to pour it all out, to give it away, to make sure that you arrive at the end of your life having left everything you have on the field. For a father, this is your ultimate mentoring assignment. Your life is a well of experience, and you must not let your children go thirsty. Don't take your lessons to the grave. Think of all the things you have learned through your own pain and struggle. You have learned about resilience, about forgiveness, about the nature of unconditional love, and about the importance of character. These are not just your lessons, they are your child's inheritance. They are jewels of wisdom that you have paid a high price to acquire. You must find ways to pass them on. Write them in letters. Share them in conversations, even if they seem one-sided. Tell stories of your own failures and how you overcame them. You are a living textbook of life, and you must make sure your child has the opportunity to read it. Speak life into your child's future, even if they cannot hear it yet. This is a prophetic act of fatherhood. Even when they are distant or dismissive, you can still use your words to build them up. Speak affirmations into the universe for them. In your prayers, in your journal, or even in voicemails they may never listen to, declare their potential, their strength, and their bright future. Tell them you believe in them. Tell them you are proud of the person they are becoming. These words of life have power. They are seeds that can travel across any distance and break through any barrier of silence, planting themselves in the fertile ground of the soul, ready to sprout when the time is right. This mandate requires you to be intentional. It means you cannot afford to be passive in your fatherhood. You must actively look for opportunities to mentor, to teach, and to love. Die empty. Pour out every last drop of your wisdom, your encouragement, and your affection. Let your child know, without a shadow of a doubt, the full extent of your love and belief in them. Leave no room for them to wonder in the future, did my dad love me? Was he proud of me? Make the answer so overwhelmingly clear through your actions and your words that it becomes an unshakable truth they carry for the rest of their lives. That is the legacy of a father who truly lived full and died empty. When all is said and done, when the years have passed and your story on this earth is complete, what will be the final verdict? What will be the legacy that echoes in the hearts of those you leave behind? It will not be the details of the court cases, the bitterness of the arguments, or the pain of the separation. Time has a way of sanding down those rough edges. The anger will fade, the memories of conflict will soften, and the noise will eventually fall silent. What will remain, standing tall and clear in the landscape of your child's memory, will be one simple, profound, and undeniable truth. They will remember one thing above all else. You stood. When the storm winds of divorce and discord howled, you stood. When the floods of loneliness and rejection threatened to wash you away, you stood. When the fire of false accusation and misunderstanding raged around you, you stood. You were not a perfect man. You made mistakes. You had flaws. But your defining characteristic, the epitaph that will be written on their hearts, will be your unshakable resilience. You were the man who did not break, the father who did not run, the anchor that did not drift. You stood your ground, rooted in a love that was stronger than any force that tried to tear it down. They will remember that you loved. Your love was not a passive feeling but an active, relentless verb. It was in the birthday cards that arrived every single year, without fail. It was in the child support payments that were always made on time, a quiet testament to your responsibility. It was in your refusal to be drawn into arguments or to speak negatively about their other parent, a shield that protected their innocence. They will remember a love that was patient, a love that was kind, a love that endured all things. It was a love that asked for nothing in return, a pure and sacrificial force that was the great constant in the shifting landscape of their lives. And finally, they will remember that you stayed. In a world where it is often easier to walk away, to start over, to cut your losses, you made the more difficult, more honorable choice. You stayed. You stayed emotionally present, even when you were physically absent. You stayed invested in their lives, even from a distance. You stayed committed to your role as their father, a role you refused to abdicate, regardless of the circumstances. You stood, you loved, you stayed. Let this be your focus. Let this be your mission. Because in the end, this simple three-part legacy is the greatest inheritance a father can ever leave his child. It is a legacy you are still writing today. And so, we arrive at the heart of the matter, at the core truth that has been beating beneath every word of this message. This is a final word for the fathers who find themselves in the midst of the fire, for those who feel the heat of the battle and the sting of their wounds. It is a message directed to the men who are grieving the loss of what was, mourning the childhood moments they are missing, and carrying a sorrow that feels both personal and profound. This is for the fathers who are actively healing, piecing together the fragments of their own hearts while trying to be a source of strength for others. It is for the fathers who are waiting for a phone call, for a change of heart, for a sign that their love is making a difference. This is a gathering of the flames, a recognition of the individual fires of fatherhood that burn across the world, often in isolation, but united in purpose. You must hold this truth deep within your soul. Your love is not in vain. It may feel like you are pouring water into a desert, that your efforts disappear without a trace. But every drop of love you pour out is changing the atmosphere. It is a sacred investment into the life of your child, an energy that cannot be destroyed. Your presence is not wasted. Every minute you spend thinking about them, praying for them, or showing up for them, however imperfectly, is a deposit into their emotional and spiritual foundation. Even when it feels fruitless, your presence is a powerful declaration that they are worthy of being pursued, a message that will resonate within them for years to come. Your story, with all its painful chapters and unresolved plot lines, is not over. The final pages have yet to be written. The world, and perhaps even your own inner critic, may try to label you with words of defeat. They may call you weak because you show vulnerability. They may call you forgotten because you are not always present. They may call you alone because your struggle is a solitary one. But these are lies, forged in the pit of despair, and you must refuse to accept them as your identity. You are not weak. You are a warrior, refined and strengthened by battles that would have broken lesser men. You are not forgotten. You are remembered and seen by the one who matters most. You are not alone. You are part of a silent brotherhood of fathers who stand their ground, a legion of men bound by a common sacred duty to love against all odds. Look around you, in spirit if not in body, and see that you are part of something vast and powerful. Your individual fire, your unwavering commitment, joins 1,000 others, creating a great bonfire of paternal love that pushes back the darkness. Each father who chooses to stay, to love, and to stand becomes another point of light in a world that desperately needs it. You are a keeper of the flame, entrusted with a sacred task. Your efforts are not isolated incidents of hope. They are part of a collective movement of masculine love and redemption that is quietly changing the world, one child, one family, one heart at a time. Your fire matters more than you can possibly know. Now, as this message draws to a close, let the final words settle not as an ending, but as a commencement. Let them be the fuel that ignites a renewed sense of purpose within you, the command that sends you back to your post with unshakable resolve. Remember who you are. You are the man who stands in the gap. You are the one who holds the line when others retreat. You are the steady hand, the quiet strength, the unwavering heart. You are a father. This is not just a biological title, it is a spiritual calling, a sacred identity that no court order, no distance, and no amount of pain can ever strip away from you. This identity is forged in the fire of commitment, and it is yours to carry with honor for the rest of your days. You are still standing. Say it to yourself. Feel the power in those words. After all the storms, all the heartaches, all the disappointments, you have not been destroyed. You are still on your feet. You are still in the fight. Your posture is a testimony. Your endurance is a sermon. Your very presence on this earth is a defiant act of hope against the forces of despair. You are standing not because you are perfect, not because you are painless, but because the fire of a father's love that burns within you is an eternal flame, a pilot light that can never be extinguished. It is the divine spark of creation itself, the fierce, protective, and unconditional love that mirrors the heart of God. And because you are still standing, your child still has a chance. This is the ultimate truth. As long as you are drawing breath, as long as you are willing to love, the door to reconciliation is never fully closed. Your continued presence in the world is a lifeline for them, a potential bridge back to the love they need, even if they don't know how to ask for it. Your stability provides a potential anchor for them in their future storms. Your legacy of love is a home they can always return to, no matter how far they may have wandered. Your standing is their safety net. Your fight is their hope. Your survival is the key that can unlock their future healing and wholeness. So today, on this day of honor, stand a little taller. Let your shoulders back and take a deep breath. You have earned it. You have endured. You are a testament to a love that does not quit. This is not just a day on a calendar. It is a celebration of your survival, your courage, and your unyielding fire. Your watch is not over. The battle continues, but you are not the same man who started it. You are stronger, wiser, and more resolute. Go forth and continue to write your legacy of love. The world is better for it. Your child's world depends on it. Happy Father's Day, warrior. You are still standing.